Welcome to part 6, Learning the Arabic Alphabet. Let's get started now. Now our next letter is the K sound. Very straightforward. This is the equivalent of the letter K. Let's see how it's written. This is the letter Kaf. The name of the letter is Kaf. This one has, again, that crescent moon on a flying carpet here. This is the letter. But this letter has kind of a little additions to it when it's written in the beginning and the middle of a word. This is how it looks like at the beginning of a word. Okay, this is how it looks like in the middle. And this is how it looks like in the end. Okay, now this letter, if you read the Quran, for example, you will notice sometimes this middle form is written like this. Okay, it's just another beautiful way of writing it, but just notice that this is a K in case you come across it and say, I haven't taken that letter before. So this is the letter K, the equivalent of K. Okay, now let's take a few examples. Here's one with the K at the beginning. This is K. Here's an A with a Hamza on top. So I want you to memorize that name, Hamza, K. So this is pronounced K, and then I'm going to put a sit at the end of it. How do we pronounce this? Ka'is. Ka'is. Okay, if you don't put the Hamza on top, if you ignore this, you will read it as Kas. Kas with the Hamza, it's Ka'is. Okay, now, Shakar. Let's put the diacritical marks. Tashkil, Shakar. Okay, Shakar. And then we have the word for doubt, which is shak. Same as this, but without the ra. Sh. Again. Sh. This is the sh. And here's the ke. Remember the ke? When it comes at the end, it looks like this. This is shek. Okay? And that's the letter K. Now let's move on to our next letter. We now have the letter Le, okay? Which is the equivalent of L. This is how it's written. It looks like the Edif, the first letter that we took. But once we get to the end, we add a little bowl to it. Okay? So this is Le. The name of the letter is Lam, the equivalent of L. Okay, now this is how it's written at the beginning. Can get connected. This is how it comes in the middle. Look, this is not, it looks like the edif, the ah sound, but this one can be connected from both sides. And this is how it comes in the end. A common word is la. La. If you've heard the testimony of faith for Muslims, it's La ilaha illallah, which means there's no God but the one true God. Now, La is a negation. So La means there isn't, or means no. How do you write the La? Obviously, it's just two letters, the Le with an A. You would think that you would write it like this. This is the Le, and this is an A, right? But looking at this, it kind of doesn't look aesthetically nice. So the Arabs decided that they'll never write the le and an a like this. They're going to give it more beauty. So this is what they've done. They said, you can't write it like this, but you'll write it like this. Let's make it into a bow. So this is the le, and this is the a. Okay, so it's like this part is the le, and this part is the a. Okay, let's write it again. Le, a. And they even gave it another way to write it. It's like this. Le, a. Okay, you're going to see these a lot when you read Arabic. The la, le, and a. Okay, just memorize that this is a la. Okay, now let's take another word which combines the ke with the le. So we have kelb. Kelb means dog. This is the ke at the beginning. And then we have a le. And it's connected to a be. So this is kelb. And we have the verb eat. We have, this is ke, le. Put the marks on top. Ke, le, which means he ate. Ekele. And if you take out these marks, it becomes ekl, which means food. So here you have the le at the end, you have the le in the middle, and this is how the special case of when the le is combined with an a to make la. Okay, let's move on. Now our next letter is the me sound, meme, which is the equivalent of M. Let's see how this is written. This is it. Okay, this is the me sound, the equivalent of M. This is how it comes at the beginning. This is how it comes in the middle. And this is how it comes at the end. Okay, sometimes people write it like this. Just keep the side open. It all works. So let's see how this is used in practical words. So we have the word mama, okay, which is written like this. Ma, ma. It's actually just a circle at the beginning and you connect it with whatever you want. Mama. We have the question of kem. Kem means how much. So it starts with a ke and an ending m. Okay, this is a question, remember. Kem. This means how much. And it also means how many. And then we have ilm. Ilm means knowledge. Starts with an a. Le. Remember the le is connected from both sides. And it ends with me. And as I said, you can either close this like this or keep it open. Okay, so that's our me sound. Now we have the letter ne, which is the noon, the equivalent of the letter n. This is how it looks like. It's a big bowl with one dot. Looks like this. Okay? When it comes at the beginning, it's like this. When it comes in the middle, it's like this. And then when it comes in the end, it's like this. Okay? Now let's take a few words. We have the verb sleep, which is nam. So it goes like this. Starts at the beginning with a ne, then an a, and then the me we just took right now, nam. Okay? If we want to put the marks on top of it, na me, na me. Actually, you don't need this one over here because you can't say it any other way. Nam, na me. Then we have ana, which means me. It starts with an e. Whenever you hear the beginning is e, it's always an edif, this, the a, but it has a hamza on top. E, na. E, na. There's no connection between the edif and the ne from this side because the edif does not allow any connections from the left-hand side. Ana, and we have you, which means ente for the masculine. En, ente. Now, ente is for the masculine, ente, that's for the masculine. If I wanted to make this for the feminine, all you have to do is take this out and put it at the bottom. It becomes nt. So we have ente with a fatha on top, and then nt with that kasra at the bottom. And then we have the word for coffee, which is written like this. It's a bun, b at the beginning, and then we have, and because we said bun, it needs a dhamma over here, so you can say it correctly, bun. But I'm sure you've heard in many Arabic names that there's bin, okay, which means son. It comes from the word like this. Ibn. And sometimes it's abbreviated to just bin. But it has a kasra over here. So bin. So look at this. This is bun, this is ibn, and this is bin. Okay? And that covers the letter ne. Okay, now this brings us to the end of this lesson. Practice what you've learned, and I'll see you in the next video.